Well, people across our area waking up to storm damage from Fort Smith, Oklahoma, and northwest Arkansas. Here are 3 things that you need to know today. Well, the Weather Service is going to be in town surveying damage in Washington County. They could be here for several days. And thousands without power this morning across Arkansas and Oklahoma, and some roads impassable in the Sebastian County area due to flash flooding. So those storms that moved through, Stephen, just a lot going on, causing damage across a wide area.
Yeah, a lot of damage being reported, and what could be damage related to some tornadoes that we had yesterday as well. Of course, we won't exactly know until the National Weather Service completes their surveys, but you say they're going to be in Washington County today. I imagine they're going to be in several areas over the next couple of days. We potentially had multiple tornadoes. Now, good news is those thunderstorms that we dealt with yesterday, long gone by now. Sure, we woke up this morning to a few of those isolated thunderstorms here and there, some heavy rainfall early this morning, just after midnight, but now we're waking up to some sunshine. The rest of the day today is pretty nice as well. So let's get to what you're thinking about this morning, and that's more than likely the damage that we had from yesterday. So here's some of those damage reports of what could have been related to a few of those tornadoes. Now, what we start off with is what we talked about yesterday as one of those potential scenarios when it comes to long track tornadoes. Now, was it on the ground the entire time? We're not for sure. The National Weather Service is going to complete that survey, obviously, over the next coming days. But we did have signs of rotation and confirmed by damage that started off in Stillwell, Oklahoma, for crossing over the state line into parts of Lincoln. Now, we had that damage near the high school there. Eventually, that rotation moved off towards Prairie Grove, eventually into Greenland, where Tiffany's there this morning, and she has found lots of damage out there this morning. That rotation continued into Elkins, Goshen, and the Farmington areas. Now, other places that had signs of rotation, parts of Huntsville into Madison County, that rotation eventually worked up into parts of Carroll County. There in Gore, Oklahoma, that was the first confirmed tornado that we had yesterday. And Shady Point, Oklahoma, there in LaFleur County, that moved just near Panama as well. Some damage reports out of there. They also had signs of rotation spotted there yesterday evening. So lots of damage to be cleared up across the area. Good news is a really great forecast for today should help those cleanup processes at least get started with some sunshine and cooler temperatures. Let's take a look at some traffic out there this morning. Here's a live look out there in I-49 there in Fayetteville. Good morning to you there this morning. No accidents, no slowdowns. I think for the most part, those wet roads that we were dealing with early this morning have dried out a lot. That morning commute should be just fine.
All right, let's take a look at some of those current power outages as of 6:32 this morning in Arkansas, Washington County, 11,000, a little over, without power this morning. In Madison County, 1,700. Let's take a look at the map in Oklahoma showing our Sequoia County and LaFleur County neighbors there. 485, or 33 rather, in Sequoia. I think that's a little bit more, 4,300 there in LaFleur County. Crews are working around the clock. Now in Fort Smith, there were multiple water rescues due to this flash flooding. This is video from our 5 News storm chaser of Towson Avenue. This was one of 5 water rescues there. Officials urging people not to drive around any barricades today. And let's take a live look at the road conditions in Fort Smith. This is Kelly Highway. You can see traffic moving smoothly as of right now. No rain, but those roads still a little bit wet from that rain overnight. You can find any impassable roads at our website, 5newsonline.com. Well, a possible tornado caused damage near the high school in Lincoln. Several buildings damaged. Let's check in with 5 News reporter Parker Abels for a look.
Here in Lincoln, just right behind Lincoln High School at what they call a feedlot that's been here since 1970. As you can see behind me, it is completely destroyed. There was a family of 5 right behind me in a bathroom no more than, I want to say, 5 by 5 feet. The garage here is completely destroyed. Cars are totaled. But luckily, everybody in that family of 5 is okay.
This is David Kidd's, what he calls is his main headquarters. And in this little building here that you see is where his farm help was. His and his family all come in here, went inside this building to be safe. And you can see here to the right, his brand new car is here and his brand new feed truck's here, but this building was tore completely down, and the building where his family was, the good Lord had his hands around it, holding it up for them so it didn't fall on them.
We'll have more coverage here throughout the next couple days here, but in Lincoln, covering news where you live. Parker Abels, 5 News.
All right, let's take a look at video out of Oklahoma and Pittsburgh County as several storms and hail moved through parts of the state on Monday. A tornado confirmed there in Pittsburgh County. The CBS affiliate in Tulsa reports that damage assessments are ongoing in several counties. And eyewitness footage showed a tornado actually turning in the town of Arnett, Oklahoma on Sunday. More than 70 tornadoes, destructive hail, and powerful wind gusts caused damage across the middle of the country over the weekend. Further weather warnings are in plane until late tonight. Meanwhile, Sheepdog Impact Assistance based in Rogers is planning to deploy teams to help with the disaster response in the Midwest. One team will be leaving today for St. Louis, Missouri, which was hit by an EF3 over the weekend. Another group will leave for Dodge County, Wisconsin. Sheepdog says you can give financial donations online to help them restock supplies. In other news this morning, a new coalition is looking to add protections for Arkansas's direct democracy process in the state constitution. They delivered their proposal for a new state amendment to Attorney General's office. The League of Women's Voters already had multiple similar efforts rejected over language issues. The group behind this effort is called Protect AR Rights. They say more than 20 bills and resolutions filed during the last legislative session were aimed at limiting the ballot initiative process.
The bottom line has been this: whether Arkansans were for or against these measures, we had the right to vote on these matters. We had the right to determine what we wanted for our state and the right to make that happen through going to the ballot.
Well, the amendment they submitted is focused on strengthening 3 citizen rights: the right to oppose ballot measures, the right to gather signatures for petitions, and the right for the people to sign ballot measure petitions themselves. The Attorney General's office has 10 days to review the proposal. Well, Oklahoma's governor has signed a bill centered around the foster care system into law. Under the new legislation, eligible foster or adoptive parents cannot be excluded from consideration based solely on their beliefs regarding sexual identity or gender orientation. One of the bill's sponsors, State Senator Julie Daniels, says some states have disqualified prospective foster or adoptive parents based on these beliefs. Although Oklahoma does not have such a policy, this act takes effect November 1st. Today, President Trump heads to Capitol Hill to rally House GOP support behind his One Big Beautiful bill. The package would make his 2017 tax cuts permanent and then increase border funding while cutting Medicaid, food assistance, and clean energy spending. It would also add work requirements to some social programs. The House Speaker, Mike Johnson, is eyeing Thursday for a final vote.
We have a timetable we have to meet.
The Republicans are trying to jam this big, ugly bill down the throats of the American people.
Meanwhile, President Trump said that Russia and Ukraine would immediately start ceasefire negotiations following a 2-hour call with Russia's president on Monday. Ukraine's president said he also had calls with President Trump and European leaders on Monday.